Coming up on this month's edition of The Now, the ACT's crisis funding in District 203, a winter sports update, and why the election isn't a joke. Welcome back, Huskies, to this month's edition of The Now. I'm Julia Shanahan.
And I'm Nick Patuzzi, and we're here to update you on all the Husky happenings for this month.
Every spring, students always feel a sense of finality once they have finished their ACT. However, this year, due to a decrease of state funding in District 203, the district is going to pay for the ACT rather than the state. We go to Nasir Halim for the story.
To nobody's surprise, the state of Illinois is currently in a crisis with funding. This has affected the state's decisions regarding how money should be used regarding testing in the spring. When the state decided to switch to park testing last year, it was able to still provide the ACT for the juniors in March since it was still under contract with the company that provides the ACT. However, this past summer, that contract expired. Assistant Superintendent for Assessment, Tim Waringa, explained that this then created an issue with what test the juniors would take this year.
So last year, the state was still under contract with ACT, and it decided to provide that test for the juniors in March last year. The problem that came up is that the ACT contract was up this past summer, so over the summer it expired. In the meantime, since the state budget hasn't been approved at the state level, they've not approved any junior testing, college entrance exams.
Luckily for the juniors, the district came to an agreement about how to solve this issue. Principal Stephanie Posey explained to us what this decision was.
So as a district, we had to decide, would our Board of Education be willing to foot the bill for all of the juniors and go ahead and schedule that for our juniors to take the ACT, or should we wait for the state to decide what they wanted to do? And the district and the Board of Education felt that it was such a good opportunity for all of our juniors to take that at least the first time here in their home school free of charge, that the Board of Education decided that they would pick up the cost of that and go ahead and schedule those in case the state didn't come through with the funding.
If the ACT wasn't given to juniors free of charge, then it would have had severe repercussions. Sarah Steen, a junior at NNHS, told us what some of these repercussions might have been.
If the ACT was not offered by the school in the spring, then students with maybe a lower income situation or just not enough time to take it any other time would not be given a fair opportunity. They wouldn't be able to take the ACT.
Giving the ACT to 1,600 students carried a very hefty price tag. However, our district was still able to do this. Waringa explained to us how this was possible.
Part of our what we do with our finances is to make sure that we have the flexibility when opportunities come up, that we can take care of that. It's certainly not something that we want to keep doing, a major investment like this over and over again. But when we talked it over as a senior administration and with those who work with us, the administrations at both high schools, the counselors at the high schools, they were all emphasizing this is really important. And so when you look at areas of priority, you have to say this is maybe an area where we have to be flexible and decide we need to provide it.
While the district may have put a necessary fix onto the problem with spring testing, it is only a temporary solution. Whether or not the state will be able to hammer out a budget in time for next year so that this issue does not arise again will remain to be seen. For the North Star, I'm Nasir Halim, and back to you, Nick and Julia.
Thanks, Nasir. From the stress regarding the ACT to the anxiety for many generated by Donald Trump's latest poll numbers, the 2016 presidential election has drawn in a lot of attention. However, for the youth in America, their attention seems to be everywhere but the election. We go to Kenny Jacino for the story.
In about a year from now, kids 18 or older will be able to go to the polls and vote for the candidate of their choice. But it seems like a lot of kids aren't taking advantage of that privilege. We caught up with North Star reporter Marissa Todd, who wrote an editorial on this topic. Summary of the story, what's it all about?
It's about the presidential election and really why students should vote.
What inspired you to write this?
I was inspired by my friends, and when we talk about politics, we joke about it a lot, especially Donald Trump, but it's really serious topic.
Why does there seem to be a decline for younger voters?
I don't think that students don't care. It's more just they may not know how to find out about politics and stuff. So, yeah.
In your story, you mentioned that there was many ways that younger voters could get educated on politics. What are some ways that they can do that?
The easiest way, I think, is to watch debates, and then they can research about politicians that they thought were interesting in the debate.
What's one thing you would want readers to take away from the story?
To vote.
So if you're turning 18 by next November, be sure to go to the polls and vote for your candidate. From the North Star, this is Kenny Giacino. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kenny. Although our presidential season may never be ending, our winter sports season is just starting up.
Next, we go to Christian Barzy with our winter sports update.
Thanks, guys. Because of the abundance of winter sports, we are going to be trying out a new segment this month. Welcome to the 1 Minute Recap. Boys finished the Hoops for Healing tournament with an impressive 3-1 record. The Huskies were able to capture wins against 2014 state finalists Hinsdale Central, DVC rivals Neuqua Valley, and Oswego East. Unfortunately, the Huskies fell short in the championship against Oswego, 50-46. Junior Tyler Carlson and sophomore Chris Johnson both had impressive weekends in their varsity debuts. In girls hoops, the Huskies also got off to a strong start over the Thanksgiving weekend. They finished 3-1 and came up short against Rockford Lutheran, 59-50 in the Thanksgiving Tournament Championship. The girls were led by Laurel Pereira and Cece Pope, who both had strong weekend performances. The girls' cross-country team will head to Portland, Oregon to compete in the Nike Nationals on December 5th. Representing NNHS will be runners Judy Pendergast, Kate Shannon, Emery Griffin, Jenny Gibson, Claire Hamilton, Kayla Glowacki, and Sarah Schmidt. We are sure to keep you guys updated with the results. In wrestling news, the Huskies got off to a strong start as they went 4-0 over the Thanksgiving break. They notched wins against Hinsdale Central, Revis, Bloom Township, and Niles West. They had strong performances from their seniors Aaron Kruk, Jake Hoffman, and Stevie Schmaltz, who all had decisive victories. Next up for the Huskies is Mattia at Mattia Valley tomorrow. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Christian, for updating us on our busy winter sports schedule.
Make sure to duck out of the cold this winter and into the dog pound.
Well, Huskies, that's all for this month's edition of The Now. Be sure to follow the North Star on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and check out our website for all NNHS news. From the North Star, this has been Julia Shanahan
And Nick Batuzzi.
Have a great day, Huskies, and we'll see you all in February, starting off a new year.